welcome to another exciting moment, The Mirror with Beauty Benjamin. The Mirror takes you around the globe. We talk about issues that are topical, issues that concern us, issues that need resolutions, issues that need answers, that people want to hear, answers, counseling. At the end of the program, you're getting a free counsel for free from our experts who are in the studio. The mirror is talking about what happens in the family that transcends to the society. Because like I always say, if you get the society, you get the family working, you have the society in good shape. With a lot of things is happening, and we're still talking, we're still in the month of October. I told you that the month of October is dedicated to teachers. And I think that a particular day is not enough to celebrate the good work people do as teachers. So we continue our topic, this part 2, as teaching, a call to service or a passionate career. Now, we began the conversation on what truly drives educators. This week we are bringing it home. Is teaching just a responsibility that you think you want to render, or is it a powerful expression of purpose and passion? What fuels the fire of those who stand before the classroom, behind the chalk or beside the chalkboard with a pencil or with a chalk in the hand? Is there a sense of duty or a love for impact? When I mean a call, are you interested in a job because of the money you're being paid, or you want that part where you're impacting someone? Now, teaching goes beyond. I want to believe that teaching is a mother of all, because everyone at some point passed through a teacher. Whether you're a senator, whether you're a president, whether you're a governor, whatever you are, you must have passed through a teacher at one particular time of the day of your life, whatever. And so I think that I told us last week, I said, look, teaching to me is more of a calling, a divine calling, than just meant teaching, because you put yourself out there, you put yourself in need, you mentor children, and then you watch them grow to become role models. So teachers are actually nation builders. They build the nation. And so it's one day enough to celebrate teachers. Or you who is seeking a job or the teaching profession, are you interested in the job because of the money, or because of recognition, or because you want to impact lives? You want to touch lives? My name is Beauty Benjamin, and this program comes to you every Friday, 10 o'clock at this station. I will also do well to make sure that you who is not watching, you're at work, you can follow us online. We are streaming, so you can get us online. Hold on, let me take a quick break. I'll be right back.
The Mirror with Beauty Benjamin.
The church said this is your result, and I was made to go to another clinic to run the test again.
Real conversations, bold questions, life-changing moments.
A picture of what is going to happen in the next 10 years. They say they have a code that governs their trade. The people that sell don't take.
Every Friday at 10 a.m. on RSTV.
Somebody may have parents, but the parents are not involved.
Covers motherhood,
Yes.
covers mentorship, and everything.
Join the host, Beauty Benjamin, as she brings you face-to-face with truth and powerful stories that will move you. Tune in on GOtv Channel 142, Star Times Channel 113, and follow The Mirror across all social media platforms. The Mirror with Beauty Benjamin.
You're welcome back to The Mirror with Beauty Benjamin, and today I have a special guest in the house. Old hand, because the teaching, like I said, is a noble profession. Is one that takes mind, patience, endurance, or you see how teachers the world and in heaven. I don't know. I will hear from my guest today. My guest today is Dr. Patrick Agam. I hope I got the name well.
Yes.
He is a retired principal, a former assistant secretary on Nigerian Confederation of Principals of Secondary School and CAPS, River State chapter, former ANCOPS national trainer, member, Historians of Education, Development Society of Nigeria. Dr. Patrick, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Auntie Beauty.
It's good to have you, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's good to see when you see people retired and they're still strong and capable. As if it's not you retire and then you are struggling.
No.
I mean, all that. It's good. It's good to see you, sir.
That's all. Thank you very much. First and foremost, I want to thank you for having me on this program. Like you rightly mentioned, teaching is both a calling and a passionate job.
Okay.
Yeah, because if it is just only maybe for the financial gains, most people will not be there.
Exactly.
Incidentally, some of us that are teachers, I don't know about this younger generation, but I know for sure that I went into the teaching profession as a passion, because right from my primary school days, I used to admire my teachers, the way they dress, always talking in, coming to school early. They act as a moral guide.
Yes.
In those days, if you see your teacher anywhere, whether in or out of school, you want to go and hide, because definitely they must find something that you are not doing right.
Fault, yes.
Definitely. So I had that thing, I want to be like that, So as early as 1970, when I was in primary 4, my father was a teacher before he became a soldier. My father eventually became a soldier. So he asked me in 1970, what do you want to become? I told him I want to be a teacher. He said, why? I said, because I love my headmaster. So after so many years, I found myself in a teaching job, and I met that same headmaster, and I said, Patrick, are you a teacher? And I said, yes. He said, that's very good. So that is that. So teaching, to me, everybody, somehow you must have passed through the tutelage of a teacher.
Exactly.
And even you must have passed through it.
Obviously.
Yes. And not only that, teaching is far beyond, although we look at teaching now as a structured learning, towards a particular objective. But in our homes, the first line of teaching starts from the home.
Exactly.
So I think whoever cares to listen, that if you got it wrong at the home,
you will get it wrong.
Yes. So and that is why you see in America they say, if you want to see an ugly child, follow that child to the home. You see, if that child doesn't resemble the father, it must look like the mother. So there must be some character traits that child is taking.
Exhibiting.
Yes. So that is that. Teaching is in fact, it's a wonderful experience. It's a noble profession. That's why we regard ourselves as noble profession, the noble job. Because in the first place, nobody employs a Dundee United, so to say, a blockhead to go and teach his child. Even the most, if it is money, those who make the much money are touts, are criminals. But nobody will send his child to an arm robber den to go and learn how to be a thief. They make all the money. But even the motopark touts, they try to send their children to school because they know that the vocation they are doing may not be right. They may be getting all the money, but nobody wants the child to be a motopark tout. So that is it. The teaching, for me and for most teachers too, we are doing it not because of the financial gains, but that does not remove the fact that we need
the financial gains.
Fine,
yes.
definitely, because we need to pay our bills.
Of course.
We need to pay our bills, we need to do one or two things. We have responsibilities which the society demands of us. So
now,
that is it.
This teaching thing now, do you think is like, let me give an example like the marketplace. The market is open for everyone.
Yes.
If you have the money, you can come and trade. Anybody can come and trade. Do you think the teaching profession is for everybody?
No.
Okay.
No.
Let's hear.
No, far from it. Like I mentioned earlier, you must have the passion.
Okay.
If it is just the monetary aspect, somebody will just come, enter the classroom, blah, 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 and walk away. But as a teacher, you cannot be in the class and you see a child, in pains, so to say.
And you turn a blind eye.
No, it's not done anywhere. You know, it's against our ethics. You are both a teacher, a father, a counselor, a doctor, a lawyer. You know. Let me give an example. When I was in KNC Buguma, Calvary National College, and for the records, that school was founded in 1938.
Wow.
And I think it's the second oldest secondary school in River State.
Okay.
And so far, I am the longest serving principal of that school. You know, I served there for a very long time. I discovered, not only in KNC, but in many other schools, you know, because of the poverty and the hunger level, a lot of children come to school hungry. They have not eaten. Sometimes they eat once a day and all that. So I discovered that sometimes when the children see a child, the child say, my stomach is paining me. You know, ordinarily we are not medical doctors. You ask one or two questions before you do whatever thing you want to do. You ask the child. Most times I ask, when last did you eat? The child is there since yesterday or 4 o'clock. And the child is in school by 11 o'clock is complaining that the stomach is paining him.
Obviously, hunger.
Definitely it must be hunger. So the first thing I do, I say, okay, since you have not eaten, okay, take this 500 naira, go and buy gala, go and buy any of these soft drinks or whatever, and take. And they will take it. I say, how you feeling? I say, I'm better. You know, so you find out that stomach pain is as a result of hunger. You know, so as a teacher, I do it, and I didn't know that some members of the, you know, KNC is an old school. Almost all the big men in Calvary Kingdom were students of that school. So all their eyes are on that school. And sometimes, you know, these children, they talk a lot. You know, don't underestimate children. Don't. You know, they can give you whatever information you want. So sometimes they go out and their parents ask them, or their relative or whatever, they say, that principal, nah, very hard man, he can flog, he can discipline people, but he's very kind. You know, he's very kind. How kind is he? Each time we are hungry, he gives us money to go and buy food. You know, so that's a relationship. You know, is there. It's not only to teach them English, maths, whatever subject, or you also take care of them as if they were your children. Because I cannot be in a class and a child is bending down sleeping and I will ask you, what is wrong with you?
Because I was about to ask that now, because why I said teachers are, they are national builders.
Yes.
It's a noble profession. We see parents, like today word, we see where parents who are looking for money, they will bring their 5-6 months old baby 1 year and dump in the hands of a teacher in crèche, and then they go off. They are confident, because I'm not sure if they are not confident that this teacher can tutor that baby or take care from changing diapers to nursing the baby and all that. So now it comes, that's why I ask the question, is it for everyone? Because aside from the monetary aspect of it now, the tolerance, the patience, the love to care for another person's child that is not your own, to that extent, it must come from a place of love. That's why I ask the question, is the teaching profession, is it for everyone?
No, like I said.
Because a lot of things is happening these days. Some teachers, some teachers are abusing children that have been put in their custody.
Exactly.
So now, with your profession and with all the group, what are you people doing about it? Because it's like they're denting the image of this noble profession.
Very, very correct.
What is the way forward? How do we silver these people so that we don't spoil this image?
Right. First and foremost, as a teacher, the teaching profession has ethics. There are things you are supposed to do, there are things you are not supposed to do. There are rules, apart from the general civil service rules and the general order that guides every civil servant. As a teacher, you are supposed to behave in certain manners. You cannot, you see a teacher abusing, I see it most times on the social media. You see some teachers abusing their
all manner of ways, abusing violence and
extorting money from them and all that.
All manner of abuse.
Yes. So like in every profession, wherever there is good, there must be bad.
Exactly.
So, but to curtail the activities of these bad ones, disciplinary measures must be taken. When I was in service, I remember on some occasions, some principals were reported to have been violated our rules, and ordinarily, because of, you must hear from the from whoever, both
both sides.
Yes, you must hear from both the accused and the person that is alleged. And at the end, we find out that some of our principals, in most cases, they have
compromised.
Yes, they have messed themselves up, and we don't
Condone.
waste time. Yes, we recommend that that person should be removed. I don't want to mention names because we know that so such people will weed them out of the classroom because they will not act as a negative influence on others.
Now, I'm looking at it this way now. Like you said, training. What is the criteria to become a teacher? Because I have seen a scenario where someone is employed as a cleaner.
Yeah.
From cleaner, he grows to become a minder. From minder, oh, this auntie is very good. She loves the children. She sings for the children loves her. She becomes a teacher, a classroom teacher. Without the appropriate qualification. Now, what is the criteria to becoming a teacher? What does it take? Who is a teacher? Who's supposed to be a teacher? Because I know that even when you go to school, there are certain criteria or certain subjects that you take. That say, look, you're training to become a teacher. Not just anybody. Now, maybe I did science subject and all that, and you put me in the classroom to go and teach. What are the criteria? What are the steps that, no, I want to be a teacher? Like you rightly said, you started from the dressing, the way you saw your, and that's how the children of today do. The children see the teacher as their role model.
Exactly.
In fact, no parents can stand and compete with the child's teacher. It's what the teacher says that the child carries. Exactly. My teacher said, whether it is wrong or it is right, or what auntie said, it is what the auntie says.
Yes.
So there's so much belief and trust in these aunties and uncles that the parents do not have a role to compete. So in this way, what are the criteria? Who is supposed to be? What do you do to become a teacher? So that anyone who is watching know that, okay, look, I'm in this profession. Oh, no, teaching is not for me. Or I have to do this.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, in Nigeria now, for you to be a teacher, you must have a minimum of NCE, National Certificate in Education.
In education.
In education.
Okay.
Yes, that is the minimum now. Before now, maybe in the 70s, when I was in secondary school, most of my teachers were school statutories. My seniors, those who finished, they had good grades, they will be recruited immediately. And I had this young teacher. Then I attended the Catholic school, so most Catholic schools in those days used to be in only boys' schools or girls' schools. So the teacher, because he was a young man, if he asked me, he was teaching mathematics. Each time he comes and he's asking, I was small then, I was about the smallest in my class. Each time he comes and he asks you a question, he will just come pour down all the formulas, all the examples on the blackboard. If you ask him a question, he will use the duster and do at you. So most of us who were, kind of, cannot challenge him, so we started running away from the class, So, but when an NC teacher came on teaching practice, he now showed us some form of love, carrying us along. I started doing very well in mathematics. I was getting 40, 45 in mathematics before then, but when the student teacher came, I was getting 75, 80.
You see?
So the difference was the approach.
The approach.
Yeah, the difference. So some years ago, when I wanted to get a teaching appointment in Lagos, I went to the Ministry of Education, and then as far back as 1975-76, Lagos State government said, even if you like study aeronautic engineering, if you are not a teacher, they are not going to employ you. if you're not a professional teacher, long before the TRC.
So,
Yes. So they had that at the back of their mind because they know that before then, people were using the teaching profession as a stopgap. It's a place where they know that the job of a teacher is always there. As long as children will be born, they must go to school and all that. So people will just, as you finish school, you jump into the teaching profession, whether you are a good one or bad. Because after about 2 or 3 months or whatever, if you get a better job, you jump out.
Move.
So you find out that the teaching and learning is progressive. You're supposed to move from 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So if you move 1, 2, somehow the person runs away, there will be a gap.
Of course.
And that gap, who pays for it? The children that will pay.
The children.
They will pay, they will suffer
Children.
it. Yeah. So and that is why there is this decadence in the educational system. Most governments, most people, they don't engage the services of professional teachers as either commissioners of education or ministers of education. You see a lawyer coming to become the commissioner for education. What does he know?
Exactly.
We had one commissioner in this state that in 1 year, because the person somehow was all-knowing, the directors in the Ministry of Education kept them quiet, and 1 year they didn't write the junior school certificate exam.
In this state.
Wow. They didn't write it because the person in charge, the commissioner in charge, didn't know what to do, and he was not asking questions.
We have that a lot in Nigeria. We have people who are not supposed to do the job.
Yes,
they are doing the job
because of political patronage. They just fix them there. So those are some of the issues. Secondly, you see, I tell whoever cares in Nigeria now, the basic minimum entry qualification of a teacher is NCE. From NCE, you can go to, bachelor's in education. For those who didn't do education, maybe you studied mathematics, BSc mathematics. You may know all the formulas and all those things. You are good in mathematics, but you don't know the pedagogy. You don't know how to impact it on the children.
So you need a certificate in education.
So you go and do postgraduate diploma in education.
Okay.
Where they will teach you how to teach
now
these students.
Don't you think that if the teacher who is so good in maths needs to get a postgraduate in education something,
yes,
the school owner, now coming to the private school,
okay,
there was a time the former president Buhari, late Buhari, was trying to pass a law that said, look, for you to open a school, to school owner, you must have a certificate in education.
Good.
Which means you know what this thing entails.
Good.
You people are the retired officers who know this job, and you have a body that you meet.
Yes.
Is it not, would it be nice to say, look, let us move forward to the government and say, look, to help our society, to help our children coming up, let us scrutinize private schools. Let us see how a private school owner, I know the job is for business, for gain, but we should do it the proper way. Now, you should have a certificate in education, or whoever is running the school should know what it entails so that we are doing things appropriately. You're employing your teachers from this angle, not because this person is my brother, I know him, he can speak English very well, you just bring him as a teacher. Does he have what it takes as an educator? Does he have a degree in education that knows the teaching? Has he gone for training? Do they even go for training anymore?
Fine. Good question. You see, my dear, if we decide to table this our educational challenges, the thing will not end. And I tell whoever cares to listen that the society is as good as the quality of the teachers.
Of course.
So if you employ, where we have most of the problems is in the private schools.
Okay.
Because most of them are there just for the financial benefits. They know that the government is failing on their part. There was a time in this state for 6 years there was no newly employed teacher. 6 years. And ordinarily you know that Teachers retire every day. If, for instance, both of us are employed the same day, we're not born the same day.
Of course.
We may have the same first degree, we're employed the same day. Because I'm older than you, I will retire before you.
Yes.
So what that means is that for 6 years, people were retiring, teachers were retiring.
And nobody was filling up.
And nobody was covering up. I was in a school where I had only 3 teachers. Myself, no vice principal, and 2 other teachers. And I had to teach 3 or 4 subjects. I forced other teachers who must teach. Because these children, they must learn.
Of course.
And at the end of the year, they must go to the next class. So we had that challenge. So I resorted, you know, I now started thinking out of the box. I met the community CDC and said, see, these children are our children. We cannot continue like this. Let us help these children. If you have young graduates that are jobless, you can bring them in, let the community be paying them whatever stipend to help their brothers. And I said, okay, let us also make use of the National Youth Service Corps members, even though most of them may not be the education. So that we also made use of them, and that was how, you know, we filled that gap. Yes. You know, so but the point I'm trying to make is that the private schools now cashed in on that, knowing that government is failing in their responsibilities. In our days, anybody who attends a private school will call them commercial school that you couldn't pass common entrance. It's only those who couldn't pass common entrance that goes to private schools in our days, in the 70s. You know, but these days, you see the children of the rich politicians, their children don't attend government schools because the government schools are in a sorry state. So because of that, the private schools, even those who don't have anything, market women, they say, not go that government school, they know they teach you, you know, teachers are not there. They now bring all manner of people, school stakeholders, those who did malpractice and got WAEC, they will all be teaching nonsense. For 17 years, I was an examiner in WAEC. I was marking WAEC, you know, and I discovered most problems we have are in the private school sector. If you see a private school that is registering students, they do a lot of nonsense, you know, they teach nonsense, and because there's nobody, you know, to correct them. And in most cases, these private schools are owned by politicians or politically exposed people. You cannot recommend that a school owned by a commissioner should be sanctioned.
But there
you know, so in such cases, you find it difficult. Our hands are tied. Our hands are tied.
Okay, now this is a River State station, and the River State government watches. Now, and like I said before, this program is aimed at finding the spot and finding solution. Give counsel, give advice. How do we make it better?
Good.
So, how do we make it better? What does the government need to do to make it better? To make government schools stand out. Like you said, then commercial schools were private schools.
Yes.
So look, these are the government schools were recognized, and even till today, you're looking for professional teachers. You find them in government schools.
Good. The best
teachers are
hands.
in government schools.
The best hands.
We know that.
The best hands.
But because of the structure or the non-involvement or the way the government setting are, people rush to. But if we can sit up and say, look, we want to make it right, the government can.
Yes.
Whether the school is owned by a commissioner or is owned by a whatever, if the government of the day say, look, it is time to take our education further, let's make sure that our children come out better, I'm sure they will.
Sure. See, the problem is multifaceted. There are sometimes government will want to stamp their feet on ground and say this thing. There was a time one former commissioner, he set up a committee. I was part of that committee, that they want to look into the running of private schools in River State. And in one of our meetings, I told them, I said, these things are good though. For a school to be set up, you can't just wake up one day and get a 3-bedroom flat.
3 bedroom is even too much.
You get a 3-bedroom flat, you know, partition them, and whatever in the middle of a market or near a motor park, you know.
You put a school, private
school. You put a school there, you collect 5,000 naira, no place for children to run around. You know, in developmental psychology, you know, there are age-appropriate learnings. If you see children in nursery schools, because their concentration level is very low, their timetable is tailored between 10-15 minutes every 10-15, because you cannot sit a child, maybe a 4-year-old child, 3-year-old child, for 30 minutes. The child will sleep off.
Yes, exactly.
He will sleep. So every 10-15 minutes, you are supposed to change subjects and all that, so that they will become very active, become active participants of the learning process. Now, if you set up, I get worried. You see private school, when a nursery school, a child of about 3-4 years, the child will go to school by 7:30, 8 o'clock, and he'll be closing by 4. What do you want that child to learn at that level?
And you still come back with a lot of
assignment. You know, at the end, the child is not learning anything. The child is not learning anything. You are just extorting money from the parents. You know, so, and at any particular level, children are supposed to be run around. Because the learning is not only about the subject, both physically, mentally, and all that. So these are the areas.
You need to balance out.
Yes, definitely. So the problem is not only about the private school owners and their commercial inclination, you know, to make money. There is a gap. You see, for you to enter into any business, one, if you are not passionate about it, like if in those days schools were owned either by the missions. I attended the Catholic school, they were Anglican schools, they were
all
that, and they were standards. They were supposed to follow. But these days it has become an all-commerce thing. So we need to set up a strong committee and streamline their activities.
Okay.
You must employ qualified teachers. Most of these private schools, they cannot pay. Government pays, at least they pay the teachers in the government schools. They earn at least a little bit above other civil servants.
Yeah.
You know, they earn a little bit above them, and that is good. Teachers, apart from the training, you are supposed to meet certain standard, because there are developments every day. We are talking about training. All through my service here as a teacher, I attended trainings, government-sponsored trainings, about once or twice. But as a principal, there was no conference, there was no workshop I didn't attend, because you need to attend, you need to improve your knowledge. There are new tactics, there are things, even if you have a PhD in education, if you have not entered the classroom to teach, there are things they cannot teach you in the university. For instance, nobody teaches you how to mark register in the university. You must come back to the school system, you mark the register, you know, you learn it on the field. In the other areas, they call it internment or IT or whatever. But in our own case, we call it teaching practice. You come, they teach you how to mark register, teach you how to calculate, to summarize attendance weekly and monthly and all that. Those things you learn it only in the classroom. And you will learn it only if you are a trained teacher.
Okay.
So those are the things. And government, like I said, they have all the good policies, they have all the good plans, but implementation becomes a challenge.
So in a nutshell now, in 2 minutes, what's your advice to private, government, individuals going out for teaching, your fellow colleagues? You are coming out to speak out. You want the system to be better.
Yes.
What's your advice? What do you want to say to people out there?
If, like I tell whoever cares to listen, if you know the right thing, do it. If you know malpractice is bad, avoid it. If you know, like when I was in service, I used to ask some of my teachers who are truants. I say, you are not coming to school, or you are coming very late. assuming you have a child, your child goes to school and comes back without learning anything, what will you do? You say, I will change my child from that school, or I will query the school authority. I say, fine. So now that you are in the saddle, what are you doing to make sure that the system, you were taught by somebody, for Christ's sake. So you are also supposed to teach somebody, you are supposed to teach somebody, so that when you leave the system, currently I mentor some schools.
Okay.
I teach principals, I teach some teachers on some of the things they're supposed to be doing. I do it out of my passion for education, and to make, because I was taught by somebody, people taught me what I know, so I must also impact the same thing on them.
Okay.
There is virtually no person, most people in government today, some of them were teachers before, one way or the other, they were teachers, and government can still do a lot.
Okay.
Employ teachers, get experienced hands, even if for nothing, on contract basis, let them come, impact some of their experiences on these young ones. Okay. And the system will continue growing. And we just learned that WAEC want to be doing CBT exams,
exactly,
computer-based exams. How many schools in River State have computer? How many?
That will be a topic for another day, because it's very bad.
So how are our children going to meet up? Even if those schools that have, how many of them have electricity to power the systems? Even when they have, what is the security situation that those equipment will be safe and secure for them? So those are the issues.
That's why I said I'm going to dedicate that topic for another day on this program. Let's see how prepared the governments are to embrace this innovation that is coming forward now. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Now, before I go now, something here. A teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. Now, the World Teachers Day will pause to celebrate those words and wisdom shape generations, illuminate minds, and build the very foundations of civilization. Our teachers. This year's theme was recasting teaching as a collaborative profession. Speaks to the urgent need to reposition education not as a solitary act of instruction, but as a shared mission of learning, innovation, and transformation. Teaching thrives in community where educators, policymakers, parents, and learners engage as co-creators of knowledge and partners in progress. In an era where classrooms extend beyond worlds of knowledge, flows through digital and social networks, collaboration has become the heartbeat of effective teaching. The core is clear. Teachers must be empowered to share experiences, mentor one another, and draw strength from collective insight. A collaborative profession not only uplifts the teacher, but enriches the entire learning ecosystem. It invites society to recognize teachers not merely as transmitters of knowledge, but as architects of humanity's future. Let us therefore rise to celebrate teachers as catalysts of change, nation builders, and global partners in the pursuit of enlightenment. Let us invest in their welfare, professional growth, and dignity, ensuring that no teacher stands alone. For when teachers collaborate, societies prosper, and when societies honor their teachers, the future stands alone, stands secure, not alone. That is how far we can take on this program this day. But don't forget that this program comes to you every Friday on this station, 10 a.m. The mirror will be to Benjamin, and we talk to Dr. Patrick Agam, who is a retired principal, and he has shared. We cannot exhaust it, because if time permits us, I'm sure there are more. Because like I mentioned, the WAEC thing, it's going to be another topic. Next week we'll look into that. Are the government, are we ready to embrace this? Because we want to see where we can write. In universities, you do this exam, CBT, and you see your result inside. This course, I'll finish with it. You fail, you pass, you pass. Now, we want to take this WAEC to the next level, where you sit down to write your exam, just like we write our exam, and you finish. Once you click
You submit.
Submit.
The
You see your result. Now we'll go for
is
interviews,
automated.
and interviews are being done this way.
Yes.
And once you finish, you click it and you see your result.
That's all.
So is the government ready? That will be our next topic. Are you ready? Stay with us next time as we come to you. I am Beauty Benjamin. Thanks to my crew. Thanks to Donu. Thanks to Emmy for the cameraman. And thanks for having us. Next time, same station. Stay safe.